Yo. Mama Kush in the garden, man, watch it grow. Got the green thumbs, teaching love to the show. Seed bunnies rolling up, got the papers right. In this homegrown community, we ignite the light. Join us on the gram, see the magic unfold. Together we rise, let the stories be told. Homegrown, we united, rolling through the night. Community lifted, everything feels so right. Join us for the ride, knowledge flows like a stream. In the heart of cannabis, we're living the dream. Mr. Gannick spitting wisdom, knowledge so deep. Papa Kush on the beats, grooving to a new leap. Every Wednesday and Friday, let's gather the crowd. Live on YouTube, yeah, we're making you proud. From the roots to the tips, we're sharing the vibe. In this homegrown family, we'll forever thrive. Homegrown, united, rolling through the night. Community lifted, everything feels so right. Join us for the ride, knowledge flows like a stream. In the heart of cannabis, we're living the dream. From the roots to the tips, we're sharing the vibe. In this homegrown.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. Oh my goodness. As you can see, I am by myself right now. Mr. Gannick is at work currently. And Miss Sea Bunny is with her boys, her little kiddos. So it is going to be me, and they're going to jump in as soon as they can, if they can, because we are earlier than we normally are, you guys. Oh my goodness. We're going to be hopping over the pond here pretty quick as soon as our guest arrives. We've got, we're waiting a few minutes here for him. It's Tom Seedsman. Seedsman Tom. I'm so excited. So excited. So hopefully he jumps in here real quick. It is in the middle of the night for him over on the pond there. So it is just going to be me. So bear with me, guys. Oh boy. So now I'm going to try and do Bunny's part, and we're going to do our little bit of housekeeping here. So Papa, if you can help me out there, please. No, he says no. All right, you can see us on Spotify, HGTC podcast, and we have all our Wednesday interviews over there. And it is actually, I put it on in the car and just listen to the conversations in the car, because even though I'm in the conversations, I forget a lot of it because I'm so overwhelmed with this. Thank you, Curly. Thank you, you guys. I know this is the best community. Oh boy. So make sure you're following us over on Spotify, and then you can follow us, Homegrown Community Official, at Sea Bunny Grow, Mr. Gannick with a K, and Papa Kush _420 and myself, Mama Kush 420. That's our Instagram handles, and we are pretty active over there. So if you want to follow along and see what we're growing on, that's where you can catch us. And our merch store, yes. Oh, look at me remembering. HGTC.creator-spring.com. So anything that is purchased on this goes back into the channel. And KJ, welcome. Thank you, Despicable. So anything purchased on there does go back to running the channel. Every little bit helps. We are so grateful for anything. We're just grateful for being here, that we have an audience. This is amazing. We have the coolest community around. And we watch, I jump into everybody's chats, and they're all the cool kids are always there. Love it. Alicia, Despicable, KJ, AKG, welcome, welcome, welcome. So, Papa, do we have any updates on our guest yet? No, not yet. Okay. So we are going to have a little surprise while we wait for our guest. And hopefully he joins us quickly. But in the meantime, can we please welcome our surprise guest, please? Papa?
Surprise, it's me.
Surprise! You just popped right out of that can, didn't
Sure did. It's time to get out.
you? You say can 3 times, and poof, here he
That's it.
comes.
Quickly heals.
The Don. How you doing, sir?
I'm actually doing really great. Things are pretty exciting, so nothing to complain about over here.
Fantastic. Do you want to maybe let the community in on what's been happening over in the Dawnland?
Yeah, the can was closed for too long, and I was hoping Tom would be here. Hopefully, he does show up. But we are doing a giveaway with Seedsman, and we're going to be partnering up with Seedsman, which is pretty amazing.
Oh my goodness, you guys,
Yep,
look at
there
this.
it is.
There it is. This is so amazing.
It's incredible.
Make sure, so you have to be following Seedsman and Can on Instagram. And then you also have to click the link in the bio and actually be officially entered. You actually read the instructions there. So that was good. I paid attention this morning when I entered.
I couldn't sleep last night.
I bet.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. What an opportunity, especially with a company like Seedsman that has decades of experience. Their reach within the community and how supportive they are is second to none. So, I mean,
global domination. Domination.
We're going global germination. Let's go.
Global germination. There we go.
I just saw Bud Boutique say that in the chat, and he's been a big help getting us where we are. So
if anybody is not aware what a can is, this is the can. I freaking love it. So these are the tweezers. We'll talk about that in just a second. But this is the can. So inside, you see that? You can germinate up to 8 different strains in one tidy little package like this. And then the lid goes on. And then it goes on to the heating mat. I've got mine plugged in, so I don't know if it does reach. Got the heating mat, but you've got the new heating mats now.
And you should have yours at any moment. So
I'm waiting. Okay. So the heating mat and this, and then the tweezers, and it comes in a kit. And the tweezers, the
huggers.
The huggers. Yes, thank you. The huggers. I'm sorry. Look at this. They are amazing. They are perfectly shaped for the shape of the seed.
Show the point at it.
There we go. You see there's a little hollow in there, and it hugs the seed. And so you actually never have to damage or hurt the seed at all. It goes straight from there right into your medium, and you're done. And what's the fastest time, Don, you've seen somebody germinate?
We've planted in under 24 hours with real fresh seeds. Obviously we're going to tell you to go 18 to 24 hours on your soak. And then once you go to the second stage, to allow them to go, 12 to 24 more hours. But certain breeders, when we know where they're coming in, we know they're fresh seeds. We could just soak them for a few hours, and there you go. Within 24 hours, less than 2 days, you'll have seedlings. It's only as good as the seeds you put into it, of course.
That's true. So if you've got older seeds that have maybe not been stored that great, they'll still germinate most likely, but they might take a little bit longer, a little nudge along,
Yeah, we've had some that have been a few years old stock, and we received them from the same breeder, and I was actually able to pick up that. I said, hey, how come these were 36 hours and the other ones I almost had to leave for 4 or 5 days? And but they still germinated, and they all germinated at high success rates. And he was like, that's funny you say that, because that was some old stock. So, I mean, don't give up on them, no matter how old they are.
Exactly. Just leave them in there just a little bit longer if you need to. It's amazing. And if you leave them in there too long, you'll open it up, and it's like those sprouts that you buy in the grocery store.
Salad.
You open up the can, and it's like all the sprouts come up. That's what happens if you forget about them and leave them in there too long.
And we've done it.
So
sorry, go ahead. I was just going to mention, the new heat pads, and one of the considerations to upgrading to which right now is probably the best technology on the market. It's called far infrared technology. And instead of having wire or metal taping with inside your heat pad that you can't bend or whatever, the new heat pads, and I mean, they come from the manufacturer rolled up. And what it is, these have a service life of 30,000 hours. So you're talking, the can is like a generational product now with the number 5 polypropylene that it's made from. It now comes with a heat controller. And part of that consideration too was it's not about can anymore. And, Seedsman, we want to make sure that we're offering the best product. And I think where we are now, and I've been doing the best I can the whole way, but we saw an opportunity to upgrade. And I ended up not sending out a bunch of new heat pads that we got to make that upgrade, because if we're going to make it, we're going to make it right away. And so I'm super excited about it. And if I was going to come on here, and I would like to, because Papa invited me in if Tom was going to be here, and if I was going to only be here for a couple minutes, it was one thing I wanted to really touch on, and this is about Tom directly. So back in March, after we got launched on High Again, and they showed it, we got a lot of attention. We started really blowing up, and at that time, I had on the website a page where if you wanted to sell the product or partner with us, I ended up taking it down because it was very overwhelming. And during that period, Tom had reached out to me, and I kind of was on the fence in 2 ways. I was like, yeah, okay, Tom_Seedsman, come up with a better name. And then I was almost like, just another one. Yeah, great idea. Because he was kind of like, hey, I love your product. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. And no, we'd like to help you promote it. Maybe do a giveaway. I was like, oh, yeah, sure. So, and I kind of brushed him off a little bit. And then it wasn't until we were in Boston doing an ECAN show, and somebody was helping me out at the booth, was like, hey, somebody from Seedsman is over there. And then all of a sudden the sweat started coming on, and I was like, oh, that's really Tom. And he said, hey, I've been trying to contact you. And I said, oh man, I didn't know. I didn't know it was you. And I was just so overwhelmed at the time.
Yeah.
So initially talking to him at the show too, because I know when you think, all right, you got this company, Can, it's a one-man company. I mean, I'm getting help now. Thank you, Bud Boutique, for making me reach my deadlines. And you would almost think that it would be a no-brainer. Like, you get reached out from a company like Seedsman, and you would just immediately be like, yes. But at the time, I was getting reached out by a lot of companies, and it was around the globe. So it was very difficult, and it was tough to read through some people's intentions and whatever else. So when I met Tom, and I was in my head going, holy cow, this is actually him.
Yeah.
I kind of told him what position I was in. I'm one guy, I'm moving this, and we're going to, I got to keep reinvesting in order to get to a position where I would be able to work with you. And he was just so kind and understanding. He was like, yeah, that's fine. He's like, I just like to be the first one to sell it. And I thought that was great. And he went back to his booth and whatever. And I really got to digest that, what was really going on. So yes. I went over and I gifted to him, and I kind of talked to him like where I was at, where I was planning on going. And he was so nice about it. I mean, I've been stepped on by a couple big businessmen before, and
yeah,
he's much different. So I didn't talk to him for a little bit, and he ended up reaching out to me again and said, hey, where are you at with this? And I just, I kind of, gave him a quick answer, and he basically was like, hey, listen, it's a great product. Do you need help? Because we can help you. Oh. And I was like, oh, all right, let's get on a call together.
Yeah.
So we end up getting on a call together, and Tom was so focused on me and Can, which was very different from any other interactions I've had with other business people. And I'm talking in my life.
Yeah.
And what he was doing, he was kind of saying, hey, look, this is where you need to focus on, and this is where you need to go. You need to consider certain things. Yeah. By the way, wow, I really love Can, and that was it. Yeah. And then we got into some email conversations, and it was the same thing. It was always about the focus on Can and me personally, and how I can do things better and what I need to do.
He's giving you that advice, that professional advice. That's amazing.
Yeah, and just for somebody not to like looking at you like a, you know, like a big fat turkey, you know what I mean? He was, it was really, it was true, you know. And during the conversations, he hit me up with a bunch of questions. What do you want to do with this, your brand? You want to do this? And it was like, take on investors, partner, license it out and everything else. And I'm like, oh, licensing, I feel like people putting the name on it kind of defaces it. And it bothered me because he gave me a list of things and I couldn't answer it. And he asked me like, what was your goals? And I gave him some stupid answer, like, oh, I want to sell millions of these things. And that wasn't what it was.
Yeah.
And you know, through the conversations, it was always about me and how I could better. And I started taking his advice and he started sharing things with me. And it started allowing Can to, you know, because it was tough to build a brand and then work on the business. And he really was like, hey, look, you need to do both. And you need to figure out a way where you can dial yourself back from your, because I wear every hat in this company. I do everything.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong. My girlfriend's been folding thousands of instructions and cutting by hand the logos that go in the bag because I don't want to waste the material that the cutter that we have has.
Yeah.
And I'm big into that. Like, we don't do packaging with plastics and stuff. When
Yes,
I cut receipts, I fold them up and sell the refills for the filter pads in them. I'm like that conscious about everything.
Yeah.
So it was his consistent kindness that just really floored me. And to be honest with you, I sent like this 5-paragraph email to this man, this guy, Tom of Seedsman, you know what I mean? I kind of like bared my soul to him.
Yeah.
And was like, you know, I'm like the guy with a lottery ticket and I got vultures around me. I don't know what to do. I'm figuring out what I'm doing day by day that day.
Yeah.
And I need help. And I can't answer your questions that you're asking me because my answer is not on there. Yeah. What I want to do, what's my goal? I believe in Can with everything. I haven't had a day off in 2.5 years, and I work 100+ hours. I mean, you can see it in my eyes.
Yeah, you need some sleep. Sir.
Yeah, and my sleep schedule is literally work 20 hours till I can't go anymore. Fall asleep for 2 to 4 hours, get back up, and just keep going and keep going, and I don't stop.
Well, it's the heart that goes into your product, and that's why it's going to be so successful because you do have that amazing heart that goes into this.
I just believe in it, and I didn't go to create a product. What I did was I was creating a solution for myself, and it worked so well.
Yes.
I haven't, you know, and when I send stuff out to people, that's out of my. I haven't made a dime in 2.5 years, and 2.5 years ago, I made the decision to stop my website company. I just quit and went upstairs and had a talk with my son, who was 12 at the time, and said, listen, for the next 3 years, there's no birthday parties, there's no Christmas, there's no anything. Like, I have to chase this dream. Yeah. And I thought that was important to me because I want my son to chase his dreams too.
Yes, exactly.
And
like, it's a family sacrifice to get the prize.
100%. I couldn't do this. I don't know how my girlfriend is supporting everything right now, and I don't ask because I might unseal a bottle that I don't want to unseal.
Yeah, yeah.
But it takes everything, and it's but I believe in it so much that I can't stop, and I'm consumed by it, and in a good way.
Yes,
because I've never worked so hard at something in my life. I finally feel like I was always lost. Like, what am I meant to do? Like, I'm not who I thought I was going to be to my son as a partner, just in life, reaching my potential. And the second I made Can, my heart skipped a beat, and I was like, this is why I'm here.
Yeah.
And
all of a sudden come down to it. Yes, this is my goal. Yeah.
And everything is aligned where it's like, okay, you can either squander this or you can just go 100% and hit every opportunity that's in front of you, whether you're just taking the time to look at it and dismissing it or you're chasing it. I'm chasing every one. I'm shooting for the stars. So back to it, I said, you know, what you're asking me is not on the list. I can't find it because what I want is, I believe that I can create this into a global brand. It's a one-of-a-kind product. It works well. And I might be foolish and naive, but I really think that I can turn Candy Can into a global brand. And he basically said we're on the same page. And not only
excellent.
You ain't kidding, Papa. That's the understatement of the year. And he goes beyond Seedsman, and he's really really helping me out, grow my company, become a better businessman, and letting me know what's out there. So I think, there's going to be a lot of people. Why did he choose Seedsman? And I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe that Candy Can is, like, in 22 years, the first grow product that Seedsman ever carried, other than like T-shirts and trimmers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I really think it's important to tell my story about Tom, because he is far different than anybody I've ever. You can see the passion in him, and it's not just about seeds. It's just about community. It's about helping companies like me go global. Like, it's amazing. And then you talk to his team, and I'm like looking at people that love Candy Can as much as I do, and it's just like, it doesn't get better than that. It doesn't get, and that's why, to me, it was like, this is a no-brainer. I know it seems like, as soon as Seedsman hits you up, you just say, oh yes, where do I sign? And it was not that at all. Because I've had opportunities with bigger companies, but I don't feel that we aligned. And when I first started talking to Tom, I could write a documentary about this guy. I'd have to fact check a couple things with him.
Yeah.
But I really researched him, and through, we started communicating in March. So this didn't happen overnight. And
no good thing ever happens overnight, right?
Beyond,
like that, you're laying a foundation before.
Absolutely.
This is amazing. Yeah.
So I really need to push it out there that, there he is.
The breeders you're working with do that, or what?
You can use genetic tests. You can use biomarkers. You can use induced stress. You can use, I'm not the scientist. I'm not the breeder in the business and never have been, but there's, various techniques where you can take big shortcuts on nature without being genetically modified that really help you to explore that diversity, to push out different genetic expression that really gives you these unique varieties. And we're really looking to work now with partners that can take on these advanced scientific breeding techniques and work at at a greater speed to really push on now. Cannabis has been restricted by the legal position it's been in for the last, whatever it is, 30, 40, 50 years. Whilst other
70 years, maybe 80
years.
Yeah.
Whilst other crops have really moved on. So we've got one partner we're working with who used to work with soya crops. And because the advancement over the...
you could just feel the passion.
You
could just feel the passion in there, in his words.
And that's who he is. And I think it's great that Papa brought that one, because it's within that that live. And there was another one that he did with I'm not gonna be able to think of it right now. It's another podcast in the UK where he actually talked about where they're like, hey, how come no products? And he was like, I haven't found that product yet. And it was like 3 months before we met. And I was just like, oh boy, like this is absolutely incredible. And to top it off, and I gotta say, their team is so great too. Like all of them, like they're all amazing. They're all incredible. And if you sit back and if you know who Tom is, it's intimidating getting on a call with him or to talk to him, but it's really not. And I actually look forward to, and it's very common to talk to him, because I wait until I have a list of things and I'm just like, all right, I gotta hit you with this. And he's just amazing guy. So beyond the name Seedsman and established in 2002, this guy that's behind it and his team are absolutely amazing. And I feel like I hit the lottery.
Yeah.
I couldn't ask for a better company and a better individuals
Yes.
to be able to partner with, and to be able to say that, like, hey mama, I'm partnering with Seedsman. Like, what the hell's going on here?
I know.
Pinch.
I know. And a little birdie had whispered a little something, but so I knew a little
you
bit.
Did know.
I knew nothing. I heard nothing. But I was like so excited. I'm like, this is amazing. This is like, Like I was jumping up and down for you. Like this is
It's
amazing.
life-changing.
And
It's
gas
life-changing.
aromas.
Absolutely.
Growers should
Oh,
have some previous experience in order to realize this strain's enormous potential. Banana biscotti is a medium-sized plant
ooh, a
that grows
banana
up to about 200 centimeters tall outdoors. At
Show me
maturity,
seeds,
the buds are
Papa.
olive green and violet/purple with orange hairs and amber trichomes. Plants can be grown indoors as well as outdoors. In the case of the latter, Banana biscotti F1 is versatile across cool, temperate, warm, hot, dry. For hot, warm, dry or humid
hot,
climates.
warm or dry. I
Its
like it.
naturally high resistance to mold explains its ability to withstand high humidity. This is a moderately long flowering cycle and will need between 9 and 11 weeks flowering.
That's
That's a pretty
Seedsman
pretty
stuff.
one.
No, no kidding. What else I think is great too is that, obviously this little birdie has a big beak and kind of told a few selected people what was going on. It was like going through the patent experience again. Like, you got to shut up and not tell anybody. It's like,
Yes.
are you kidding me? I got the
Your
biggest
first-
news of my life and I can't say anything about it. And but it was nice because Papa reached out today and he was like, hey, do you kind of want to jump on? And I was like, hell no. I said, I don't want to fall on my face day one with Tom. You know what I mean? And he was like, and he was like, come on, man. It's, you know what I mean? Mom will make sure you do okay. And, and the support that you guys show is just absolutely amazing. And I actually wrote to him first, like, hell no. And then I erased it. I was like, let me think about it. He's like, don't think about it. Just do it. Like, what are you thinking? Like, today's the day. And it's like, you know what? You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
And what a great place we made to have you guys.
Yeah, I'm glad you did. Yeah, you were only supposed to pop in for just a minute here, but you were kind enough to hang with me as we wait for Tom. I have a feeling Tom's not.
Yeah, maybe not.
He fell asleep.
Something must have happened
So
because I talked to him earlier.
That's okay. We'll reschedule. I know there was a big scheduling conflict and there was,
Sure.
He's overseas. There's time differences and, but I'm just so glad that you were able to hang with me for this time.
I'm happy to come on and talk about Can and Tom. You know what I mean? Because
yes, exactly.
The experience is great. And I think that I'm able to tell you something that he would never tell. You know what I mean? Because I don't think he's just Tom and he's doing his thing. But for somebody to be in my position and just have somebody at that caliber, just like kind of like, oh no, I love the product and I believe in it. And they're actually using it over there to do seed testing and stuff already.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and when they all, like I said, they all love Can, and they're like, oh no, it's a fixture. It's right there. Like Lawrence is taking it to go work on it now and do seed testing. So it's pretty amazing. And when I discussed with him about the heat pads and stuff, and he was like, no, definitely you need the controller. It opens up so many doors. And for him, they want to test because they want to offer the best product that they have out there too. And their thing with Can is, and obviously they used it and they see the merit in it. Obviously, they wouldn't be doing this because they want to provide their customers the best opportunity to germinate seeds in a very simple way.
Yes.
And that's why I created them. Somewhat lazy and it was a lot of work. We'd spend a ton of money, wasting on losing seeds or disorganizing labels and everything else, and to be able to soak and germinate in the same little thing. And now with the new heat pads, it is absolutely 100% the system I envisioned from day one. So I couldn't be more proud, more happy. And I will say this, and I know this is going to go away eventually: zero returns.
Oh. That's amazing because you know what? It doesn't surprise me because this is such a thoughtful product. Like he stoner proofed it for us, you guys. He stoner proofed it for us. Okay, so okay, I got that out. Oh no, it's this part I always have trouble with.
Yeah,
this
it has to
part
be
does come out, so you can replace this. I was such a weakling. I couldn't do it. I'm like, it's not working. And I'm emailing them and I'm like, I can't, it's not working. Like I'm trying to get
give it to Papa. She's like, hell no, I'll get it out.
Yep. And I did. I was not going to give that to Papa. Screw that shit. So it does come out. You just got to give it a little extra. I was afraid I was going to break it, but
definitely
really
not.
There's no breaking. I mean, this thing is solid. You've got the, in here, you have the filters. You have the filter. So maybe explain Explain to somebody who's not familiar with.
And it needs to click in tight, because if that failed and your seeds mixed, then I just have a product that doesn't work. You know what I mean?
So in the inside of here, there's a little notch. Where is it? Right here. There's a little notch right here. I don't know if we can get it on the.
Yeah, so I don't have one with me, but I can go through it. So inside you have an alignment feature that allows you to line up the strainer, because along with the candy can, you get a partition chart that allows you, because all those partitions are numbered. So you're able to keep track of what strain is in which partition. And with on the opposite side of the alignment feature, there's a water level gauge. And after you use it the first time, you don't need the gauge anymore, because it's pretty simple. You fill it with water, you let it soak your seeds for 18 to 24 hours, and then you pull out the center, let it drip off in the upside down cap. It'll collect the water for you. And you remove most of the water, or you add back. And I rewrote all the instructions so it has all amounts of water in it now by milliliters. So it's very clear. I went back and rewrote the website. When we did this with Seedsman, I just went back and redid everything.
Yeah.
And then so you soak. Oh, my little helper gave me a partition chart. So it allows you to keep track of all your seed. Oh, I'm on the wrong side, these cameras. It allows you to keep track of what partition they are in, what type of seed they are, if they're a fast flower, an auto, or just a regular photo, male or female, and how many you have in each partition. And I've loaded them up over 10 in each one. So it allows you to keep track of it. So then when you're done soaking the seeds, you just leave a little bit of water or add new water to the bottom, just so it's basically covering the bottom. And it's that humidity that's created on the bottom of it that keeps your seeds from drying out and gives them, the best environment possible for them.
And then you put the lid on.
The filter that we use is largely used in laboratories for seed germination within Petri dishes. So it holds enough water in it. They're 100% biodegradable, all natural material. You don't have to worry about your seeds, your taproots or radicals growing into fibrous material like cotton pads or paper towels. And the advantage to this too is some people go directly in soil, but you're able to keep all your seeds separated. You can just soak them in there, and it still allows you to keep one container instead of 8.
Yeah,
you just
how many little shot glasses have we all had lined up on our counter, and you've yelled at your entire family,
right?
Nobody touch these, because if you touch them, you've rearranged the whole.
Yeah, and then you're trying to transfer that label to your baggies or to wherever you're going, and then those get mixed up. Well, this doesn't allow it. It eliminates that. I did it for myself because I would screw it up. And we've been growing forever. I'm not like new to growing. I've been in gardens my whole life and grown for over a decade. So it was, even if you direct sow, just leave them in there. Take the water out, put them in for like another 10, 12 hours, and you'll have established, taproots.
And then you take the huggers and you just pick it up gently, and it's so gentle, you guys. Like I think they're spring loaded, or not spring loaded.
I made sure that you can't crush a seed with them. Yeah. So they have that flexibility. Yeah.
Yeah. No
and the far end that's in your palm is used to make the hole first. So
yes, the dipple.
But they all dib. It's either a dibber or a dibbler. I call it a dibber end. Either way is fine. Yeah. But yeah, I made sure that the seed you can't damage seeds, so you can hold them. That's why I call them huggers. You can't hug too tight, and you're not worried about losing them, and you can handle them easily. So
you just transfer it over real quick. So you take this over to your media, and you're like, okay, so these are my 420 fast buds. Boom, 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 in there. Okay, these are these, and you start pop them in there, and then you're ready to go. It's amazing, and this is such a durable container. Yes. You drove over your
5 times with an SUV because people were calling it cheap plastics. I'll show you. And we drove over a bunch of times, and I actually sent it out to, I don't remember who, but they actually the actual one, and you could see like gravel marks in the bottom, the little ring that's there. But that's it. I would open it up every time, and it was fine.
And the bottom is actually specially designed as well. You've got these little notches in here.
There's a notch, so if you're not using our heat pad and you have one with a temperature sensor, you just slide it right through, and you can sit it on flat. And one thing I would recommend, and it's designed so, and a new heat pad say it on there, and it says like you want to put the heat pad 10 degrees over your target temperature. So if you're at you'll want to, I like germinate 85. I think 85 is the best temperature, anyway from 83 to 85. So you just put it at 90 to 95 degrees, because what happens is it's made and it's like, oh, plastic's not thermal conductive. That's another heat I'm getting on it. And you know what? That's why I chose it, because the can works by creating a convection. So the base is sitting on the heat pad and it gets warm, and the cover is cooler. So when that warm air hits it, you create a convection and your seeds don't dry out. People are saying you don't need, one company, you don't need to soak your seeds anymore. Well, that's true too. And to be honest, you don't need to soak your seeds using the can too, if you just put it in. But why? It's easy enough to do it in best practice, because all seeds aren't stored or created the same. So why not? I made it easy enough for you to do it all in one space. You don't, it's not complicated anymore. And go ahead. Sorry.
I'm a perpetual grower, so I really appreciate this, because I will pop multiple strains at the same time, or even a couple. I can do one and then a couple days later. Like I can get
absolutely. I've done 1 seed to 100 in it. You know what I mean? I use still for one, and I use it because I do hundreds of seeds. I'm always, either whether creating content or just getting things started, I do 100, and I still use it because it makes it so easy. Yeah. And it was not just that process. It's all the way from the beginning. Like if you get our product, there's no plastic packaging. There's no fancy labels. It comes in this muslin bag, and that's it. Because
the black ones now, right? The black bags.
The kit comes in the black. That's the one without the heat pad, and the bundle comes in the tan bag. Yep. And the reason why is because, not only did I go back, that's why I created the huggers, because like every step of the process, I wanted to make it easy and safe in the best possible process I could come up with. And part of that was too, is when you order something, what do? You rip it out of the package, you take the package, you throw it right in the trash. So let's get rid of that. And let's put it in something that you can keep reusing that's washable. So with the number 5 polypropylene plastic that it's made out of, the new heat pads, and the huggers are made out of the same material. They're dishwasher safe. So you're talking about sterile. Once you put a plug in something, or computer chips or heating elements in it, you can't sterilize it. This is lab ready. You put it right in your dishwasher, sterilize.
So the whole thing, other than the filter, is dishwasher safe. So
everything.
I can rip everything apart and just throw it in with my dishes, even the huggers.
Everything.
Wow.
Yeah,
I love
that was my goal. I built a product that I was building for myself. I want it sterile. I want it clean. You know what I mean? And I want it as easy as possible. And that's how it came about. And now with the new heat pads, the great, plastic. The plastic is, that old, ugly, mustard yellow Tupperware that's sitting in your drawer that was from your grandmother. Well, guess what? That's what this is. So between the heat pads with 30,000 service hours on them, the number 5 polypropylene. And I know people say it's foolish because you want people to come back and rebuy. It's a big world. I don't need to keep reselling and ripping off the community. Oh, and I want to bring up another point about Tom too, is between the heat pad and the material, it's a generational product. Because if you figure out 30,000 hours and you say somebody's germinating 4 times a year, you're talking 126 years or something like that. It's crazy.
That is amazing.
One thing I want to say about Tom too that I think is very important is the heat pads that came in are over 3 times the cost of the other ones. Now, if I was to do a regular markup on this product and I wanted the same profit margins from the other ones, it would be about $103, $106. Low end, maybe 92. But I even told Tom that I didn't want to pass that expense off to the community.
Yes.
I did go up $10, but I had to because they're just so much money. And they come with a controller now. It's way better technology. It's a heat film with they like paste. It's a zinc paste that they screen print onto there. So it's like so accurate, so perfect. And when I told Tom I didn't want to pass on that expense, and he was like, "Yeah, fine, we're on board with that too. We'll do whatever you want to do."
Oh my goodness.
So they're not even going to raise the price on their end. They're just like, nope, if that's what you want to do, we support that too because we love the community too. And like, what?
Yeah, we'll absorb that. That'll just be.
I was afraid because I was like, he could be like, well, there's not enough margin in there for us, and he's like, no, Don, we'll do that too. We like that. Yep. Yeah. Crazy.
Oh my goodness, that is
Most
amazing.
incredible company.
That just that right there, just being able to say, you know what, yeah, I totally, and not even kick up a fuss, just like, yeah, no problem.
Immediately,
Yeah.
no
Yeah,
hesitation.
it's the community first, right? Because you know what, if you come into this community and you're bashing people and you're being mean and you're doing the thing, guess what? You're not going to last very long, because that's not what we're about. We're about positivity and supporting whatever we can and however we can. And we've been supporting you right from
man.
the go. You know, like
100%.
Mr. Ganix, he even said, he's like, I don't.
Oh boy.
Oh no! Oh
Oh
there
boy.
he is. There he is.
Wow. What an entrance.
Welcome.
Hey, Tom.
Boy. Thank
Hey,
you.
Dawn. Good to see you.
Likewise.
Dawn,
Hi, Mama
Dawn's
Kush.
keeping us company here for a little while. So this is a shout out to Dawn.
Thank you.
Sorry to interrupt. You were deep in
No,
conversation.
please. I was trying to fill in for you, but I did my best.
Yeah, you did fabulous. Tom, thank you so much for joining us. I know it's a bit of a time difference here between us, and I do appreciate it.
Hey, thank you very much for changing the time. It's really not too late here, so absolutely fine.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for joining us. How are you doing?
Let me jump off and let Tom have his time here.
Okay, John. Thank you
Thank you so
much.
Or by all means, stay, Don. It's always good to see you.
Yeah, if you don't mind, I would love to hang out with you, Tom. Absolutely.
Stay.
Sure.
Let me hang up for a couple minutes, then I'll jump off.
Definitely.
So Tom, thank you so much for joining us. Give everybody just a quick introduction of who Tom is, because if they see you in the chats and whatnot, they're a little suspicious because the name is a little sus.
So, Tom, I'm the founder of Seedsman, a originally British kind of founded seed company, started in 2002. We now operate in Spain, in the UK, and the US, and a tiny bit in South Africa. We are not breeders, but we have our own line of genetics where we're working with other breeders, and then we also are what we call a kind of seed superstore. So we work with lots of other breeders. We are kind of seed experts, not breeding experts, and we're logistics and we're just people that have been in this market since the kind of legacy days and are continuously looking to how we can do things better. What are the new breeders that have interesting stuff? And we're just people that keep on trying to improve in this industry and hopefully improve the industry, along with the improvements that we make to ourselves.
Oh, that's amazing. And we've just spent the last little while gushing about you.
That's really kind.
I was just telling my honest experience about working with you so far, so that was it.
Well, we love working with you, Don, as you know, and we're super excited. As soon as we saw Don's product, the Can, we were like, right, someone has put a lot of attention to detail into this.
Yes.
It's perfect alongside the products we sell. And so we were very quick to reach out to Don to make friends in a genuine way. But we love the product and we love Don and really excited to get selling the Can.
Oh, it's amazing, and it's you guys met in such a genuine way that it wasn't it wasn't big business trying to stomp on the little guy. It was like you guys met and were like, oh hey, this might work, and then you carried on that conversation and were able to come up with something amazing. I mean, this is absolutely fabulous. I'm so proud of all of you. Oh my goodness, this is going to be so amazing for the community.
Yeah, I mean, we are, I think we're seen as quite a big business, but we don't produce any products. So for us, it's teaming up with people to help them sell their product is what our business is all about. And what we've done over the years is try and work with breeders whose speciality isn't necessarily the marketing of their products or the packaging or the logistics. And we found our speciality in that. And really then it's finding people we like working with, we believe in their product, and we think we're able to help them. And I think with Don, it was, we love the product and we started talking more and we're like, well, we've got warehouses, we can do things, and we're not entirely there yet, but we're having some pretty interesting conversations. And yeah, we like to collaborate, we like to cooperate, and that's always been the way we've liked to do things. We're not coming in, copying other people's things, we're ripping them off. We're there to work with others. This market is big and growing internationally, and you need to have solid friends and solid partners in that. And I mean, the be all and end all actually really is to have fun in the job that you're doing as well, and to work with nice people who you like getting on calls with, and have fun with, and yeah, enjoy your day and look forward to speaking to. And that's not necessarily absolutely all of our suppliers, but certainly with Don and with the majority, it absolutely is.
Thank you, Tony.
Really, and that really is it. If you have that human connection with somebody, the conversations go so much easier and so much more, less aggressive, or, that sort of thing. We've had that aggressive in the industry so much. And as I was saying early, the aggressive approach really doesn't work with our community. We're all about love and kindness, and smoke some, chill out, relax, have a laugh, right? Exactly.
I think it is a very tight-knit community. It's a community that like to get to the bottom of things as well, and they quite quickly sniff out the bullshitters, the people that are doing things wrong, and generally sidelines them, I think.
Be fucking nice.
Yep, be fucking nice. That's our one rule around here. Sorry, we forgot to tell you, Papa is behind the scenes, and he has a wicked sense of humor, and so he throws the memes in to get his word in.
I make this look good.
Shout out to Papa.
Very good.
I meant to warn you, Tom. Back to you were saying though, Mama, if Tom was that aggressive type, regardless of the name Seedsman, it would have been a no-go. And I want to take off and let Tom have this, but Tom, I would encourage you to look back at the beginning of the show and please see what I had to say about you, because it was all good things, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity to work with you, and who you are as a person means everything to me. So I'm going to jump. Thank you so much, and
thank you.
I look forward to listening to the rest.
Great to see you, Don, and thank you for that. I will go back over it. Much appreciated.
Thank you. Day one.
Kick it in your can, sir. I always tease, because when we first heard the slogan "Stick it in your can," I forgot what it was, and I was in a chat one day, like somebody's YouTube chat, and I'm like, "Yeah, kick it in your can," and I think it was Despicable. It's like, "Mama, you're being so violent. It's like stick it in your can, not kick it in your can." So he actually made me camera. He actually made me a specialized banner that says "Kick it in your can."
There you go. You can never forget it now.
That's right. Oh, absolute. Thank you. So, Tom, thank you so much for joining us and your time today. We really do appreciate it. I know we've been doing a little can love here, and it's been absolutely fabulous. But I wanted to know a little bit about you. We want to learn a little bit about you. And my team is all at work and with children and what have you, because we're in the off time. So there's normally two others.
I'm so sorry to have to force you. It was going to be otherwise 3 in the morning, otherwise my time. And I also have kids and things, and I'm a bit grouchy if I hit those really late nights. So thank you for being, taking the time and doing it on my time.
Yes, absolutely. Really with my crew. Oh, actually, hold on. My crew is here with me. I have my crew with me. There we go.
There you go.
I recently went to LA, and my crew couldn't come with me, and so I did. The
Growers Gauntlet. How was it?
Oh, it was amazing. It was so fun. But I brought them with me, and then I got everybody there to sign the back because they couldn't join me. And then I'm going to mail it to them so they can have their own little memory of the show. But
lots of new friends there. They're all great people in the industry that we love working with. Again, it's
my
great bunch, right?
Oh, it was so much fun. So much fun. Yep, there we go. Yep.
Nice.
I met Pigeons 420. He's the one that taught me how to grow. He was my first YouTube person that I really watched consistently, and that was before he actually showed his face. So back in the day, he didn't show his face. It was only his chest, so his chest down, but that's fine, whatever. It was,
needs must.
Yeah, and so he's the one that taught me how to grow, and then to be able to actually meet him in person, oh my goodness, I fangirled out so hard that whole weekend. I fanned out so bad. It was like, oh my goodness, I couldn't believe it was real life, because I've been watching these people for the last 5 years on YouTube, and now I'm here. I'm talking.
And now you're part of them. You're now doing the same thing as them, and it's very exciting. Well done.
Oh, thank you. It's been absolutely amazing. So, but I wanted to learn a little bit about you and how you got the idea to start Seedsman. How did that all begin?
So I was a smoker from a pretty young age. I was kind of started smoking hash back when I was about 15 in school with my friends in the woods normally, and loved it and had some amazing times. And then progressed into kind of UK universities, and I was doing a course in food marketing, which I liked a little bit, and I did a bit of Spanish on the side, and I had a passion for Spain. And then my cousin at the time started a business growing hemp and selling hemp food. So he was selling gluten-free pasta, dairy-free ice cream, but with hemp, a great sustainable crop.
Yes.
It's super environmentally friendly, very nutritious, high in fiber, protein. And so I ended up doing a large piece of work for my final bit of work at university on hemp foods and as an ingredient for the food market, and was set to go and work for his business, having left university. And I did a couple of months there. And then sadly, they ran out of money. They were having to educate. It was very early on in the health food market. Well, in hemp in the health food market, and gluten-free pasta and dairy-free ice cream, which are all massive markets now and big things because of dairy intolerance and the like. But then they were early on, and they were having to educate people about why they should be eating these things and the benefits of them, and at the same time trying to sell them. And it just wasn't adding up for a while. So sadly, he had to sell that business. But he came to me and he goes, I'd like to keep working with you. I've met some really interesting guys in the Netherlands who are selling THC cannabis seeds. I've worked out that it's legal in the UK. It's a legal loophole. You can own, buy, and sell the seeds, but not grow them. How about we start a business? I'll fund it. You can run it. And we've got the best breeders around at the time, really, to supply us, which was a guy named Sam the Skunk Man, who was responsible for creating Skunk Number 1, Original Haze, and a lot of the very seminal strains at the time.
Skunk is my jam. I'm from BC, Canada, BC, British Columbia. Well, skunk is my jam. I grew up.
It was the original breeding blocks. Sam did a lot of excellent work at a very high level, and I believe continues to do so. He ended up selling a lot of the varieties for medicinal purposes to GW Pharmaceuticals, but he was selling them for the kind of grey market to us. And so we created Seedsman with quite a mainstream, which still rings through the kind of branding. We wanted to be a little bit political with it. The idea was that, you couldn't grow the seeds and it was up to people what they did, but we wanted to start a business that was opening up the debate, making money, helping to fund kind of activists and legalization moves, but that would appeal to all. So we didn't want it to be too alternative, because we thought that would close the door. We knew that, there's a lot of cannabis smokers in all areas, and we wanted to appeal with a kind of mainstream. And it's a little bit boring, I find, my branding in some ways, but we wanted it to be like that. We wanted it to be kind of mainstream, because we felt that we'd have a better dialogue with a wider bunch of people if we made it look like that at the time.
Yes.
And so we started selling his genetics. They were all regular seeds. We had like Swazi skunk, Skunk Number 1, Original Haze, Indian Haze, Durban skunk, and all these great varieties in a regular form. And then we started meeting new people and started bringing on new varieties. I think the next 3 after him were from a supplier in Africa we met, and part of it was that we really wanted to help preserve the genetics. We wanted people to be buying genetics that weren't all the kind of produced in Holland. So we had a Swazi Redbeard, Swazi Rooibart, Malawi Gold, and I think there was one other that it wasn't Durban Poison, that we were buying from Africa. Again, all regular seeds. And And we kept on developing a little bit, were finding other breeders that had interesting things, and then eventually stumbled across the lowrider, which was what really helped take us to the next level. That we were the first ones with some friends in Italy we've been working with anyway, who just saw an opportunity with lowrider and auto-flowering genetics. The more we looked at it, the more we realized that it had really interesting potential for medicinal growers, people that were potentially in wheelchairs or couldn't manage big plants, for students that were, staying in student housing, but then maybe would go home over the summer. They could grow crops quickly. People that needed discretion. It just had multiple applications. And from a marketing background, that's what we wanted with varieties. We're always looking at unique characteristics that are desirable and helping make them attractive. So we wrote a lot of articles, we took a lot of pictures, we got them in all the major magazines, cannabis magazines in Europe, and slowly and steadily we got interest. And a lot of the interest at the beginning was quite negative. We were told we were kind of bastardizing the gene pool, that it would pollute cannabis, that it came from hemp. And this wasn't the strongest cannabis, suddenly like the original lowrider, but it started something, and we knew that things would keep improving. And the thing with the seed industry, especially at the moment, which is exciting but does cause some problems, is it's all open source. People can buy from other breeders, buy from seed banks and use it. And I think that's a great thing personally. But I also understand, I'm not a breeder, so I don't feel the need so much to protect, but I understand completely as well that breeders who put their lifetime into work do need some protection. But I worry how far that might go. And that's a whole nother conversation.
That's a whole other thing right there. Like that's
exactly.
Yeah. But as a consumer, like you're more, geared to make sure that the consumer is able to get those reliable genetics, to get them, at an affordable price, and to actually get them. Because in the legacy days, how many times have we heard you used to put cash in an envelope, send it out to some random post office box in Holland, and then maybe you might get seeds,
and that, was, we were operating at that level, and it was difficult. It was, you were receiving money, and not every time you'd receive it, and that wasn't your fault. Can you believe everybody? And then we would always send the goods because that's what we did, but they wouldn't always arrive, and people get upset. Our job really was to just minimize that, keep sending until they got them. Occasionally you'd find someone 4, 5, 6 times and they still weren't getting them, and then you'd try and find a solution that kept them happy as kind of fair individuals. But it's really exciting not being in that legacy days anymore, and knowing that everyone gets them. And now we can really worry not about how we ship or how we receive money, but that they're absolutely getting the best product for where they're living, how they're growing, to really get genetics that are going to perform well for them and be really suitable, which was really important before, but there were just lots of other challenges too.
Yes. Well, we do have a couple of questions from the community, and then I do have a question about the clones. I want to touch about the clones before we end this. So Anthony would like to know, have you heard of the New York Piff or the New York Sour Diesel? What of his seeds is the closest to that?
The New York Piff, I'm afraid I've never heard of. And call me ignorant. There is a lot of different genetics and keeping up with everything. And there's also some very localized genetics, which is really great. And actually, I'm pleased that I haven't heard of everything, because we can't, we wouldn't want to know everything. And it's great that there are localized pockets. New York Sour Diesel, I think we have our own sour diesels that we work with American breeders. And then we also sell it from various different brands. The original we used to sell, which I think was, certainly Soma Seeds, but sadly we haven't worked with them for some time. Just didn't work out in the end a few years ago. We pick up products and brands and they chop and change a little bit. We try where possible, and we're increasing it where we can, is to go back to original breeders, especially with those kind of seminal strains, to offer them from the original breeder. So we've done it with Serious Seeds and a few others, and we'd like to do more of that, but it's it's trying to find the right ones that also have the right commercial setup and infrastructure to be able to get the seeds to us, or for us to be able to pick them up and move them.
It's like a fire haze. So yeah, I'm sure their catalog, their Seedsman catalog is extensive, you guys. Like if you check out their website, it is extensive. So if you have a terp profile that you like, you will guarantee to find something on the Seedsman website. Guaranteed.
There's a lot there, and we're constantly working on it, improving it, chopping and changing it. And yeah, we'll continue to try, like with every area of our business actually over the years, from how your website performs to the products you're selling, to how you send things, to how you accept payments. We're constantly looking at every dynamic to see, your job's never done. There's always room for improvement. And the catalog, actually, we've been through a tough couple of years with improvements to the website, and any of your followers who've been kind of loyal buyers would have been through some hard times because we made some big mistakes. We're now through them mostly, which gives us more time to focus on the catalog and working with new breeders and old breeders actually to make sure that their strains are out there and they're given the credit that they're due.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Especially in this world where we are so vocal about the breeders and the strains and the terp profiles and all of that now. Like we are in a completely different age now. One, we're legal. I'm in Canada, so we're federally legal. And, we can talk about this. We can talk about, this weird dill pickle terp that's been going around, like we could talk now. We're in the legacy market. That wasn't happening. So it's you just have to find out what you like, and they 100%.
Yeah, and what we tried to do on our website is categorize everything. There's a kind of what they call a mega menu where you're trying to break everything down to find those characteristics that people will drill into, and then put the most suitable ones into those things. But also, and this can sometimes be challenging, is making sure that our suppliers are giving us the best possible information on their strains. And it varies. We sell seeds from breeders that are producing their product, and we work with seed banks as well that aren't producing their product but curate catalogs. And from both of those, we find different amounts of information that can come from them according to how they produce or how they're buying their seeds and testing them before they sell them to us. And both comes with kind of attractions and obstacles at the same time. So for us, it's trying to bring it into our system, encourage them to provide information that they might not supply or produce otherwise, and make it fit in. So we want to be the kind of best informed website out there. And again, it's another of the areas that needs constant work.
Exactly. And it's ever evolving. Tommy has a question here. What do you think is the best fast flowering cultivar?
We've had some people, actually, this is a bit of an old school one, who've had great success with the Jack Herrera fast this year. We've bought fast ones on this year from, we work with a company called Atlas Seeds, who have their own brand, but then also supply us for our own brand.
I'm growing some Atlas Seeds right now.
They're a really nice bunch of people from Sonoma, and they've got a whole load of fast varieties under their own brand, and then we also buy and bring them into our brand at the moment. But this year, in particular, the Jack Herrera has done super well, and we've got lots of people sending us pictures of that.
Oh,
and
love that.
I think just to highlight, because not everyone's fully aware of the fast varieties, is they're great in climates, not that you can grow in the UK, but in climates where it's wet, where autumn comes in really quickly and hard and wet, and would otherwise kind of bring bud rot and mold potentially with it, your varieties should be finished really by the end of September at the latest, which should mean that you help avoid all of that poor luck with mold and things like that.
Well, we've already had just on Friday nights, we do a show called Grow Me Gardens, and the community gets to come on and show off their grow and show off their genetics and see, how they have their setup, and we get to chat with them for a few minutes. It's a lot of fun. And we've been following a lot of outdoor grows, and a lot of people are chopping early because they are starting to get bud rots. There's caterpillars coming on in those climates. And my outdoor is still doing okay. I get a lot of wind, so I feel like I've got enough airflow to kind of keep things moving. But back east, like on the East Coast, they are chopping. So a fast flower would be amazing.
It's one area where we anticipate wait through our kind of breeding connections to see some big advancements coming now that the breeding side is a bit more open and people are able to do it legally. Because cannabis has been held back by laws. Actually, the breeding, despite there's some great products out there, you know, we work with a plant scientist who works with soya and other crops where they've been improving for years and years and years in laboratories. So every improvement now is so tiny because they've been doing it for years. Whereas with cannabis, they haven't been doing it to such a high quality level that actually they expect to make some real leaps forward. And one of the areas we're really excited by is mold resistance.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited for the future. Like the more that the world opens up, the world of genetics is going to open up. Like, is there anything on the horizon from maybe somewhere that shouldn't be named that's might be coming up soon? Or do we have any? Can you drop
we're pretty excited by, and they haven't got, I know a lot of people are a bit concerned about them, but I'll throw them out there anyway, is the triploid varieties. Humboldt Seed Company have brought out some great ones. There were a few small problems, I believe. Trilogene Seeds, another company that we work very closely with, have a sour brie mix that in a triploid variety that we think is pretty interesting. You know, as again, it's a you know, future tech of seeds. A lot of people get a little bit worried about those kind of things. It's never going to form our core catalog, but we like to offer, you know, new things against more traditional varieties at the same time. And it's good to see these developments coming, and they're coming from laboratories and breeding, people that are mixing those kind of traditional techniques with more molecular breeding programs.
Well, I think with Humboldt, I think they just came out too soon. They just came to the general public too soon, and they rushed it, and it backfired.
But so, they were, I think unlucky, a bit untested. But we hold Humboldt Seed Company in very high esteem.
Oh, absolutely.
One of the seed banks, not seed banks, breeders that really do things well. They're pheno hunted. I think, from my understanding, they could potentially have tested better. It was unlucky. I think they've dealt with it, but we love them as people to work with and as people to hang out with. They're nice guys.
But it's wonderful to know that the triploid is not done just because that was not, you know, that didn't go successfully. So a lot of home growers might think that might be the end of the triploid because that's the only thing that we heard. So it's wonderful to hear that we have scientists and other breeders that are still working those genetics. And like, where do you see the future of triploids in, say, maybe 5 years?
Whether they get fully into the homegrown market at the moment, they're quite expensive, and some people don't have a problem with that. Probably more suitable to commercial growing, outside commercial growing, where you may be worried about pollen contamination from neighboring farms, you know, wind travel. But the fact that they are proven from the research that we've been given to have higher levels of cannabinoids, THC, and the like is interesting. And we know those characteristics are ones that our clients are keen on. So we think there's going to be a good future for them, but also in commercial growing, it's obviously they're very suited to just give you a more stable, reliable product that is getting less likely to have problems, hermaphroditism, pollen, etc. But we'll see whether that comes into the homegrown market. I think some people will like them that, you know, advance with the times and like to see things, and others won't. And there's at the same time, there's great advancements in other varieties that use more traditional kind of breeding techniques.
Yeah, it's fabulous to know that this is still going on. This is still a conversation, because I feel that there is a place for triploids in the future for the home grower, like maybe outside, for a new grower that doesn't know the difference between a male and a female and can pollinate the whole neighborhood, that sort of thing. So it's kind of, I'm really fascinated that this is still.
I think we've seen, having been kind of doing this for a while, is as when new kind of technology or new varieties, like I was saying with the auto flowering, people were quite against it at the beginning. With feminized seeds as well, we used to get, and we were suddenly not at the forefront of the feminization. It was before we'd even set up in 2002. But people were quite against that and were just saying it's greedy seed companies who don't want to let people produce their own seeds, which wasn't true. It was very much the knowledge. And I know Dutch Passion well, who were one of the first companies to do it. You know, they knew that people were limited by space and had to be discreet. And when you're limited by space and have to be discreet, you don't want male plants. So it wasn't anything more than that.
You 100% sure what you're putting in, and you want to put determination, right? Like, this is money.
People are concerned about change, and fair enough. Quite rightly, you know, there are some unscrupulous companies that come, you know, that have done things, Monsanto and all of those kind of people. So they're right to be suspicious and hesitant, but keep an eye on things, keep reading about it is all I'd say.
Yes, exactly. Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for answering that. Now, we do have another question from the community. Justin would like to know if he thinks that the UK will ever legalize cannabis.
Wow. We started in 2002, and the idea was to help encourage activists, to fund activists, which we did for a while. And they were all fairly kind of hippie activists, lovely people, good friends. Sadly, I don't think they made a huge change. It then happened. Medical cannabis started getting more and more interesting, and the CBD revolution, and some kind of political activists who actually had no interest really in cannabis at all, apart from the business side, but were very politically savvy, media savvy, did a very good campaign for medicinal cannabis where they took a boy who was using CBD, I think illegally originally, and they took him to Canada to get medicine, and they set up for his medicine to be taken off him as he flew back into the UK, and they had the media there ready, and they got a kind of national uproar, and that very quickly moved on the medical cannabis laws, which has now been slow progress, but there are more and more patients using it for a wider variety of conditions. As far as recreational cannabis goes, none of the politicians that I hear talk in the UK have any gumption whatsoever. They're all fairly weak. The ones who have had an interest in drug policy, quite quickly, if they ever get into power, either find they've got other priorities or keep quiet. I think it's not going to happen for a while. I think if Germany provide a successful model with good evidence-based reduction of harm and hitting all the kind of targets they need to, that it will happen, but it's going to take time. And there's no one I see at the moment who's really fighting for it and being heard.
Oh, that's such a shame. Such a shame, because it really should not have been illegal in the first place. I mean, it was just greed and whatever else motives behind it. Because you go back in history and you can see that this was a healing plant right from the get-go, and they made it terrible. So it's a shame.
And actually, we have some activists who we're working with a little bit at the moment in the UK who set up the cannabis social clubs kind of here, who are now putting together a program for pushing for home cultivation, which, you know, when you've got a medicinal market, some with very serious illnesses, and I get that probably getting it from a pharmacist or the like is maybe the best option for them. But for people with less serious illnesses who maybe have the space or a garden to cultivate things, just the growing in itself can be hugely positive, whether it's vegetables, cannabis, or any other plant. It nourishes your soul, and it's very, very good for you. And you have control of the products, you have control of the inputs. We would love to see, even if it was firstly for medicinal purposes, patients being able to grow for themselves and then moving on to recreational. I know a lot of people go, well, it shouldn't be medical first and then recreational, but I would be happy with that if it started like that. I think,
but that's how that's how Canada started. Canada started with, they fought to get the medical. Now we have the ACMPR, which I am a part of, and then it became recreational. Just recently, 2018, it was recreational, but there was a little bit of a gray market in between that, you know, where it was like, you know, the cops are like, I'm not even going to bother, like, unless you're big and newsworthy, what's the point at that point, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's going that way in the UK. I think the police have, you know, more than enough to deal with other things. Having small time people who are growing small number of plants at home, often for medical or well-being purposes, and there's a fine line between them, or there's not really a line between them, because where does the medical necessity stop and where does it begin? Okay, you've got more serious illnesses that clearly can benefit, but why should you stop at those? And so generally, I think for home growers, the prosecutions are becoming a lot less, but that's not the same as actually making it legal.
Exactly. And that's a big difference. But you know how many people I speak to that are in some sort of a depression and then go, the only thing that gets me up in the morning is knowing my plants need water.
Yeah.
And that's what gets them out of bed in the morning. That's the only thing. If not, their depression would take over and they would be done for the day. That's the only thing that gets them up and out of bed.
Plants and pets are very good for us. Of getting us up and out and walking the dog or whatever it might be, is caring for something else, especially when you've got lots of problems yourself, is actually passing on that love, whether it's in cultivation or whether it's in, showing love to an animal, whatever it might be. It's really great for us. It's really great for us.
It really is. Like I have a black thumb. I kill cacti. I do not know how to grow. So learning how to grow this plant, I was doing the YouTube University. I was reading every book I could get my hands on. I just wanted to learn to plant the seed. And so for Dawn to come out with something like this, I'm like, where were you 5 years ago? Right? Like,
well, I mean, also 5 years ago, I think we wouldn't have been able to sell that product, because our seeds aren't technically, in quite a few of the places we sell them, aren't for germination. Luckily in the US now, in quite a lot of the majority of states we sell, they are. But yeah, we have to be careful still on how we term germination and make clear in places like the UK, if you're ever buying our seeds, you shouldn't be growing them. Or if you are, be wary. But I'm not encouraging anyone in the UK.
It's all allegedly. Everything on this show is allegedly. Nothing's real here. But it really is the act of growing and just caring for something is something so motivating. So like everybody in the chat's just like, yes, it's my therapy. Just to even sit in the grow and just look at them for 5 minutes, it can change.
We did a really interesting survey of our customers about 4 years ago with, I think it had like 30 or 40 questions, many of which were open-ended. So some of them were kind of multiple choice, and to give us an idea of buying habits, what were the crucial things on delivery and payments that people found important. But we had quite a lot of open-ended questions of what people really loved about growing and what they found important. And we had these massive, big passages written by a huge amount of people showing their love. I think a load of them were saying that they feel really guilty every time they're cutting their plants down, because they have such love for them, because they nourished and built them up over months and months, and they had this like guilt twinge when they ended up coming to harvest.
If I break a branch, I'm like, oh, sorry. Like, they're my girls. Like I look after them.
It's pride, and it's patience, and it's learning each cycle. How can you do better? And especially if you're growing outdoors, what's the weather doing, and watching weather patterns. I think it's great. And that's particularly why we're really proud of what we do, because love people that grow things. And I'm a big vegetable gardener as well in the UK.
Are you?
I love, I've got 2 kids. Giving them great produce that you produced yourself is something that I have great pride in.
Yes, of course. And it has a completely different flavor than what you can get at the store.
Exactly.
And, it's amazing. What kind of vegetables do you like to grow?
Everything, really. I like things that store well, in particular, because my other half gets a bit bored sometimes when you've got courgettes and courgettes and courgettes coming out. But we grow a bit of everything, really, from kind of tomatoes, cucumbers, grapes, root vegetables, garlic, onions, a bit of everything, really. And we're very lucky. We're in the countryside a bit, so being a seedsman, although we can't grow cannabis here openly, we have to have a good garden, organic garden.
Oh, I love it. I was going to ask, is it all organic?
It is, yeah. It's all organic, absolutely.
Oh, I love it. I'm an organic girl myself. I tried doing synthetics and it's the math and the calculations. I feel like a scientist. I want to feel like
We're very lucky that we have a bit of a small holding, so about 3 acres, and we have a horse and a few pigs, some chickens. So it's recycling all the any food waste that hasn't been used, and then using all of their crap and using the good stuff to feed what we're growing.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That's just, and so many people are missing that cycle or that connection with our food. We've lost that connection with our food. And, I was watching something on the news or whatever, and this kid was shown, I think it was like a broccoli or something like that, just something random. And he had no idea what it even was. Never seen it before in his life.
It's so true. People like children from kind of urban areas who don't get that exposure to growing things. Very sad. And I think a lot of our kind of food problems and health problems are very directly related to that distance from our food and green production.
Yeah. So everybody get back to your farms, support your farmers. Screw mowing lawns, grow gardens. That's right. Grow food. All right, sir. Well, I'm not going to keep you too much longer here. I know it's late for you, and Don was nice enough to jump in the beginning there, and I do encourage you to go back and watch it because he was gushing pretty hard over you. So that's pretty sweet.
That I will definitely do that when I get off. Where do I go to watch back on? It's on YouTube, is it?
On YouTube. Yes. I will send you the link when it's all loaded up. I'll send you the link. And I invite you to watch our show on Friday. We are doing a show called Highly Weed Squares. And it's like the old TV show, but with Papa's wicked sense of humor. And so it's our second episode. We're going to try that on Friday night. So that'll be fun too. So if you want a good laugh, I encourage you to give it a try.
I will definitely watch it. It may be Saturday morning for me, but I will definitely.
Yeah, that's right. Well, Tom, thank you so much for joining. Let everybody know how they can reach out to Seedsman, yourself, what they can do to help the cause.
So Seedsman is on www.seedsman.com. I am on Instagram, Tom_Seedsman. They're really actually to be there to help people. Anyone who has any questions, whatever, on genetics, they've had a problem with their order, and our customer service, which actually are pretty good these days if they're ever slow. I'm the public face of our business and very happy to field any questions. Sometimes there may be a day or two, but I'm pretty quick to get back to people. We are on seedsman.com. We're collaborative and we want to talk to people and interact with anyone from suppliers to clients, whatever it is. We're here to help.
Oh, I love it, Tom. Thank you so much for your time and sharing all your wonderful stories. We really do appreciate it. The community, I know, appreciates it. I can see it. It's all popping up on the screen. They're just showing the love here for you.
Well, thank you so much for having me on. I don't do a huge amount of these things, but really enjoy it every time I do because there's always such nice people hosting it. So thank you.
Oh, well, thank you, Tom, and happy growing to you, sir. And yeah, I know you're global domination, or global germination. That's
global germination. Exactly. Yeah. And I hope I'm based in the UK, but come over to the US quite often. Sadly, not to MJ Biz, although some of my colleagues will be there.
Oh, fun.
Hope to meet you in person. But anyone going to MJ Biz, there's a Seedsman stand that'll have my business partner, Nick, on and various others from our team. So anyone who's there, please go and say hello.
Oh, awesome. Oh, that's going to be fun. Now, there's a whole crew going down.
Exactly. I think all of that lot from the Growers Gauntlet will be there, and some of them will be on our stand. So make sure you go and say hello to Otto and Nick and the team.
Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, Tom, thank you so much again for taking the time for the community. We really do appreciate it.
Absolute pleasure. Very nice to meet you. Thank you.
Oh, you too. Happy growing.
Thank you. And you.
Oh my goodness, you guys. What an interview. I can't even see. Mama does talk a lot. I can do it by myself. Oh my God, I can't believe that. What an amazing, okay, 2 amazing interviews in one afternoon. Thank you to everybody who jumped in and joined us on our special time because we had special guests today. And Papa, if you can throw up the giveaway real quick to remind everybody that Can and Seedsman are doing a giveaway for the bundle. And you go onto Instagram. You got to follow them both on Instagram. And there is a click. You got to click the link in the bio of Seedsman to actually fully be entered. So there's the rules there. So just make sure you read them all. And good luck to the community. I hope somebody cool really wins that. Oh my goodness. Thank you everybody for the amazing show and showing the love. Oh my goodness. The chat is just going off. I have to go rewatch the whole thing now. Okay. I'm going to go. I'm going to stop talking now. Shout out to Papa, Ganix, Sea Bunny Grows. I know they tried to be here, but real life took over. It happens. Mod Squad, shout out. Okay. Bye. Happy growing.
Mama Push is tending to our plants today. See bunnies in the zone in her mellow way. Mr. Ganix with a smile always brings the cheer. Home grow the community, we got no fear. Growing love in every pot. This is our happy spot. Mama Push, Sea Bunny, Mr. Ganix too. In the heart of the grower, lifting spirits true. Cannabis laughter bringing dreams alive. Home grow the community where we all thrive. Under Canadian skies we share our good vibes. Wednesday nights and Fridays where laughter thrives. From the gardens we learn, yeah, we share the light. Join us in the chill, everything feels so right. Together we can rise with sunshine in our eyes. Mama Push, Sea Bunny, Mr. Ganix too. In the heart of the grower, lifting spirits true. Cannabis laughter bringing dreams alive.